Hey, Kasey, how are
Hey,
you?
Dustin, how are you, man?
Good, man. Heard a lot of talk about how good basically both Lance and Miles have done at the bull position so far. Just basically, what kind of improvement have you seen out of Lance, basically, and how you seen Miles still pushing him? What do you like about each of those guys at that position? What they're doing? Well?
For Lance, it's a mental. He's a coach on the field. He knows the defense. He knows where he's supposed to be, how he's supposed to fit. I think that's allowing him to play faster. I have not seen him move this fast. So just in generality, I think he has a better feeling and understanding. Now, we talked in the spring, right? We took a lot out of what we did a year ago with this position, and I think that has allowed those guys to play fast. Simplicity for us is going to allow us to dictate a little bit more of what we want to do at that position. And then Miles just brings the physicality factor, and his energy levels off the charts. That hasn't changed one bit. And he's got a great base knowledge of what we're trying to do too. He can watch Lance go and see how it's supposed to look and react off of that. And so that's been great. I mean, both those guys are doing a tremendous job, and it's going to be a great season for them.
Me?
Now Zach wants to go.
Well, no, I know camp is busy. I didn't know if you got a chance to watch the Braves 2-game sweep of the Red Sox a couple weeks ago.
Why? I know
because they're in second place and it's just really annoying.
I think we're 500 now. I'm not entirely sure. But.
I guess following on to the idea of how that bull position is evolving, Coach Allen has talked about, and Coach Randolph both have talked about needing guys to be able to play, I guess, be more flexible along the line. It seems like maybe sometimes, not always, but sometimes wanting a little bit more emphasis on being heavier. Does that change what you need out of that position when maybe, I know last season sometimes you'd roll a linebacker down for pass rush situations? If you are kind of changing the way other guys are moving around on that line, how does that change what you need out of that bull position this year?
It changes some of their technique and stuff, but depending on the situation, we're always going to have one of those guys in the game. Third down, goal line, no matter what it is, one of those guys is going to be in there. You'll see both of those guys on the field at the same time too, in some packages and things like that. But I mean, that's what we've done in the past. To us, get our best 11 on the field in those money down situations or that crunch time, what you got to do. We feel like those guys, help us in those situations. I will tell you the biggest thing for me, and the problems, let's call it spade, is the pass rush, right? We've got to generate pass rush from this position. I think both of those guys are a lot better pass rushers. They're better every single day, better than what we've been working with. So having that in our arsenal with those two guys is going to be a weapon for us for sure. Yeah.
I know James Evans kind of had some ups and downs last year in his first season, but I guess what have you just seen from him development wise, and how far he's come since he got onto campus? There's
a comfortability factor, right? I mean, he's played 12 college. He's played 12 games in his entire life. Right. So, the comfortability, just understanding, we're challenging, putting more on him for sure. Probably more what you saw when Hayden was a senior. Right. So I want him to recognize what the opposing rush teams are trying to do to him. Right. I want him to recognize those things. That'll help him evolve his game. He has an unbelievable leg and unbelievable talent. It's him being comfortable back there, knowing what he sees in front of him, and then executing to the best of his ability. He's getting a lot better every single day, and we expect big things from him, without a doubt.
I'm just kind of curious about the competition aspect between Bryant and Jackson, how that's really driving them to be better performers on the field as well.
Yeah, I think we partner up in drills, so they're going against each other. They're challenging each other in the meeting rooms. They're challenging each other off the field. I think that's what we have to have. That we haven't had this, in my opinion, we haven't had this kind of depth, okay, at this position. And I think when you have better players that are 2s and 3s, it elevates the 1s, right? It pushes everybody to be better. We haven't had this kind, in my opinion, we haven't had this kind of depth, since I've been coaching that position. And I think that's the most exciting part. I think Lance will tell you the same thing, that, hey, Miles makes Lance bring his A game every single day. And Lance makes Miles bring his A game every single day. And those guys, they've rallied to the charge, and they're doing an awesome job. It makes coaching fun, to see these guys go compete at a high level. It's what this profession's all about.
Coach Allen has talked about Deshaun McCullough's versatility and kind of be able to use him in different spots. I guess, where do you see him fitting in just on the defense as a whole, and what have you liked about him so far?
Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army knife, right? He can do a lot of different things. He's fast, he's long, he's physical. I was more surprised with how physical he was. The first day that we started working with him, he's got heavy hands and then he's got those long arms, and we have to use that. And he's very, very quick. So again, pass rush. He can cover. He can rush the passer. He can play physical in the box if we need him to. You're going to see him in some different spots, for sure, as you talk about, how we, multiple packages that we're going to, might use and things like that. But we have to take advantage of his athleticism and his physicality and the way he moves. We have to. And he's a playmaker.
Charles Campbell, one of the best kickers in the Big Ten. How have you seen his leadership development over the past few years, especially in regards to, Chris and even James Evans as well?
Yeah. And, a lot of people, Charles and James lived together last year. So they're not together now, but they're boys. And Charles really kind of took James under his wing. And James even told me in the past, like, he was probably his closest friend, last year. Now he's made other friends, obviously, but coming from a different country and to the new environment, right? He's trying to make friends, and Charles really took him under his wing and was awesome there. So the leadership factor in that point, teaching him, hey, this is how we practice. These are our habits. This is what we do. And there's no doubt, I agree with you. I think Charles is one of the best in the country, and we're lucky to have him. And we're expecting a big year from him. We're expecting a big year from James, and hopefully James can continue to follow in Charles's footsteps.
I guess, forgive me, this is more of a conceptual question, but just about the idea of pass rush in kind of modern college football where quarterbacks probably don't have the ball as long, the drop is shorter because they're in the shotgun, and a lot of offenses are built around timing routes and quick throws. I guess what's different about how you teach that? And I know you guys as a defense aren't afraid to blitz and things like that, but in terms of maybe understanding that the pass rush isn't always about sacking the quarterback, maybe it's just about bothering him because you aren't going to have time to get around to him a lot of the time. How do you teach that differently than maybe you did, 10 years ago or whatever?
Yeah, and we had this conversation in the bowl room a couple of days ago about, hey, look, we may not get there, but get him off the spot. We call it getting him off the spot, right? Make his happy feet in the pocket. Even if I'm just working an up and under move, just to get him off the spot, you've got to sell it vertically. Then I got to come underneath. We talk about getting the tackles, hips open, and all those different things. The angles towards the quarterback. For us and for me, what I really challenge those guys, it's the pre-snap look. So I tell them all the time, even today, I'm getting on these guys about sell the look. That way, they don't know if we're rushing up the field, we're coming underneath, we're dropping in coverage. It's got to all look the same in that pre-snap. And to me, if I'm a quarterback standing back there and the picture looks the same every single time, and I don't know where the pressure's coming from the left or from the right, it's coming up the middle, and I got this guy that is a bona fide pass rusher, and I got to worry about him, and every single time I look over and he looks the exact same, to me, I would be a little nervous back there. Is he dropping? Is he not? Right? So that's the biggest thing is the pre-snap alignments, the reads that we're trying to get these guys to understand. And then it's technique and fundamentals after that, right? Having various moves, but understanding if it is three-step, just maybe it's a speed to power on the tackle just to make the quarterback feel the pocket collapse a little bit, right? Get a little bit anxious just to get rid of it a little bit quicker. Just anything that we can do to get him off the spot. Appreciate you guys.